Hi, everyone, and welcome to Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast. We're our host, Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
Well, it's very hot. It's over 100 degrees out here in North Carolina with the heat index. It's terribly hot.
It's hot everywhere. It's the
Yeah,
summer, right? It's
yeah.
July.
Saw the national map. It was all red because everybody's on, super hot this year.
All right, so I have questions for you today because again, you're a guru when it comes to financials and especially understanding how to have a cash free, to be able to be tax free for life, debt free for life, all the different things that we get stressed about each and every day when it comes to our finances. So my first question is, why is summer a more expensive time of the year?
Well, Neil, in summertime, there's more things to do, and things cost money. Global tourism is up almost 30%, and because of inflation and the cost of fuel, I mean that's just out of sight right now. I think it was $1.89, and then in the last couple of years, now that I went and got gas the other day, it was $4.20 a gallon. So that keeps going up. But the thing is, in the summertime, things can add up very quickly. You go out to eat, your family of four, it may be easily $50 to $100. But the thing is, you need to keep things under control. If you don't, you don't think to keep things under control and plan. You've got to plan for everything, as I've said before.
How can we keep our finances on track and still have fun in the summer?
Well, one of the things, like I said, plan. You've got to have a budget. Now, a lot of people say, we got a budget. Well, I would say 90% of the people who say they have a budget don't keep to it anyway. But you've got to have a budget and you've got to keep track of your spending. You can open a separate account just for putting money into an envelope or savings account for a vacation or something like that. But look for free activities for your family to do. There's all kinds of things that you can do, free concerts, just different things, free events for your family to do. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. I saw something on the news today I just couldn't believe. And that's just in football. This is a national football game. But the cost for a family of four to go to a national football game was around $750.
Wow.
How people can afford this.
Yeah. How do we avoid not using our credit card?
Well, don't fall in the habit of putting things on your credit card because they can get out of hand. Actually, when you go out someplace, just take cash so you don't not tempted to put on a credit card. But if you do put things on a credit card, make sure you can pay it off at the end of the month. Because if you build up a balance on a credit card, as we've discussed before, effective interest costs will eat you alive. That effective interest cost on a credit card is usually anywhere from 70 to 99%. And people don't understand it. But if you got a credit card that say it's 20% credit on the APR, you can bet it's over the effective interest cost is over 80 to 90%. So what that means that every dollar that you pay towards that credit card, 80 to 90% of that is just going to interest, compounded interest for the financial institution and not yourself.
Okay, so it's important when we're looking at a budget and looking at everything is we need to pay attention to details, right?
Absolutely. And, the summer months can get really busy, but don't forget to make sure that all your bills are paid. If you're going on vacation, put your bills on automatic payment because if you go on a vacation and you forget to pay some bills, now you got late fees and nobody wants to do that. And then always check your account, periodically check your account and check for fraud, credit card statements for fraudulent charges. I just checked my American Express and there's a fraudulent charge on there. Of course, I called American Express and they took care of it immediately. But there's things that you can do, to help yourself and not go back into debt.
And we should never stop saving, right? We always should save, right?
Well, yeah, we should never stop saving. And to think about it, I always tell people plan more for their summer vacation than they do for their retirement. And when you plan for your summer vacation, think about this. Your retirement is going to be your longest vacation. So you better think about it and plan for it because if you don't, your retirement's never going to happen. You'll be working for the rest of your life. And if you don't, and you want to live off Social Security, you're going to be in poverty the rest of your life. So you've got to plan. Plan for your vacations, plan for college, plan for your business, plan for business exit strategies. I mean, you've got to have a plan for everything. If you do have a plan, improve on it. But this is one thing that I'm very adamant about is, you've got to have a plan for your retirement. You got to have a plan for long-term care, because if you don't, it will devastate your retirement. So make sure you have these bases covered. But in the summertime, I mean, we want to have fun. We're going to have more people over our house. We're going to entertain. And one thing about, what really gets me is when you go out to eat, people go out to eat all the time and they don't have time to save. I mean, they don't have any money to save for retirement. When people go out to eat, it costs between $50 to $100 a meal. And that's, if you don't, if you don't have any drinks or anything, and for a family of four, that's easily going to cost that much.
Wow.
So you've got to have a plan, but keep control of the credit cards. I would
And,
say if you can't afford it now, how are you going to afford it later?
and how, like, it's important to work with someone like you, right, Alan? Because you're going to help them save money, put it into an account that they can take out. It earns money and that they're paying off their debt. So when we have the big summers, the money's already saved up for that vacation, right? It's already saved up for those extracurricular activities the kids need to have.
Well, absolutely. Just like when I explained my debt free for life program, when you're paying that effective interest cost to the financial institutions and not yourself, pay yourself. If you want a vacation, take a trip around the world, take a trip to Europe, and it costs $20,000, borrow from yourself in your cash value life insurance policy. Not only will you have your policy paid, I mean your vacation paid for, but you pay yourself back instead of paying a credit card. And when you pay yourself back, you're paying yourself back in a tax-free compounding account that has a death benefit, which is in the hundreds of thousands, not millions of dollars, to protect your family, and you can use for long-term care tax-free. But people don't understand this. You got to pay yourself instead of financial institutions.
You totally do. And when you do, it's going to really work out. So let's talk about a family next summer's vacation. Let's say summer vacation's over. What should they do this year to plan to have enough money for vacation and yet have their credit card debt paid off?
Well, what you do is you build your retirement budget, and then you prioritize things, savings for emergencies, and your retirement. But I mean, some guy asked me the other day. He said, Alan, he said, I've got $2,000 in a savings account, and it's making 4%. Is there something I could do better? I said, well, first off, if it's 4%, that's safe money. If you don't have at least 1 month, most people say 6 months of emergency funds built up, you're looking for trouble. But I say, okay, if you have a cash value life insurance policy, you can borrow from yourself, have at least 1 month of ready cash so you don't have to worry about anything. But if you need money that quickly, I don't think you're going to spend more than what you're making per month in one day, because you can get money from your life insurance policy in basically 1 to 2 days. So think about what you're doing, but you've got to prioritize. Prioritize things for vacation, prioritize things for your retirement. And when you find yourself overspending on things such as going out to eat, buying clothes and things like that, you've got to take control of your situation. If you don't, your situation is going to control you.
What you recommend with your clients is them to sit down, especially when you're working the debt free for life program, but especially for younger people, is to just write down what their plans are for spending each month, right? And what the expenses are, and really stick to a budget. Then but the difference is you're not saving money, you're earning money, right? Because you're becoming your own banker.
Absolutely. Become your own financial institution and pay yourself compounding interest and not the financial institution. And people they're not educated on it. Everybody I talk to, I just talked to 3 more people today. Alan, I've never heard of this before. This debt-free for retirement. I mean, it's debt-free for life program. I said, it's not rocket science. It's very easy math. It should be taught in high school as far as I'm concerned, but it's not. And most financial planners, CPAs, attorneys, and even bankers don't know about the effective interest cost. But when people become aware of what effective interest costs and how much money they're spending out of their payments to get rid of this debt, their eyes they don't believe it. So I show them. I have a software program that shows it.
All right. And Alan, the best place people can go right now is call you at 910-551-1046 or email you strategicwealth, the number 0 @gmail.com. And you're going to be able to help them save money, become debt free, and then once they make that wealth, they have that opportunity to invest that, and then have no tax-free retirement. But it all starts as early as possible, right?
Exactly.
Start saving.
Exactly. Because if you don't, I ask people, I said, because I have a lot of people, they're 50 years old and we haven't got anything for retirement. I said, well, you're starting a little bit late. I said, you need to start a long time ago, but we can still, still help you out. But the thing is, you need to plan yourself for a 40-year vacation. When you plan for retirement, you need to plan for a 40-year vacation. Because when you go into retirement, I know this for a fact, you spend a lot of money on your grandkids. I know I do. And then you want to take trips and you want to pay for your grandkids' colleges and just different things like that. But I can show you how to get out of debt, but it takes discipline.
Mhm.
And if you follow my program, you'll be out of debt. You become your own financial institution.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we appreciate it, Alan. Great podcast, and take care.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
That's Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.